Yes, here we are at Craigdarroch, and my own McBride Chronicles is a family dynasty similar to the Dunsmuirs, who of course built this castle. So the historic significance is very, very special to me, and I love. Although my house, Providence, was set in a different location on the Gorge Arm, it's still important to me to be surrounded by history, which is my first love, always. So it's great to be able to fictionalize a family through their generations after having written so many non-fiction books, but gathering all that research together and putting it into a fictional family saga, so to speak, has been a real joy. It was a big challenge to me to change from nonfiction, but it's always been a dream of mine to gather together all the information and research I have done for years and put it together with a family story and just use that research as a background for my McBride family. And I have to say, this family have lived in my head and heart for years. And I shall be very sorry when the final book, now we have 3 books out and there's one more to come. So it brings the story right up to modern day in the final book. But right now we have Providence, Destiny, and Legacy out. It probably, being divided into 4, was the fact that there was so much material and it kept growing and growing. And I thought, well, in one book, it would have been enormous, it would have been thick, this thick. Hancock House, who have published this book, or these books, decided that it would be better off to shorten each book, but still add all that extra research and information into the story. So it's worked really well. And we're still working on the 4th book, so that won't be out until next year now. It's still, I'm still on about the 5th draft. And then it'll have to be edited, of course. And the editing process goes on and on and on, back and forth. So, it's something to look forward to next year. But there wasn't really anything that had been done like this before, I don't think. And I like to think of it as the definitive history of British Columbia, told through the voices of those who actually lived it. It's sort of on the lines, the first and second book of Downton Abbey. And then, of course, the 4th book is from the 1960s onwards to present day. So that was a little bit more challenging for me because I tend to live in the past. I think I was born in another century. I've always thought that. And it seemed to be easier to write the words that those people were saying. I just felt that I was there with them. But the people from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and right through to the new century, it was a little harder. I've talked briefly about some of the problems I had to overcome while writing this, and COVID was one of them, of course. But it wasn't exactly a problem because it allowed me time when I was at home. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't going out much. And I had to learn a few more skills like Zooming and all that stuff. And I'm not a very technical person. I'm much happier sitting in my office and writing rather than the technology side of it. But I had to learn a few things. So in that sense, COVID was a good thing, I guess, because I did learn a lot. But there were quite a few obstacles along the way that this has really been a nightmare journey in many ways, but we've got through to this point and it's almost done, so I'm very pleased on that account. Yes, and the best part of all of this is my daughter, who is the owner of KGB Films in Vancouver, has first option for turning this into a television or film production. So that is really exciting. It is a long process for her, but she's very confident. And she is one of the very strong women in my life that I've mentioned so many times, and they're an inspiration to me. My son and daughter and my husband, who keeps me grounded, and all my so many great friends, and my chosen daughter, who we got her through, she got us through with her inspiring ways, our family tragedy. But all in all, I've been so blessed with so many people, a support system, that has helped me get to today and next year, hopefully.